Okay, my mic should be live now. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Welcome to our first live stream with Tattoo Smart. My name is Russ Abbott, and I'm going to be your host today. We have some fun stuff in store. Our special guest today is going to be Mr. Myke Chambers. Today, we just launched what we call a refresh of Myke's Procreate brush set called MC Flash Stamps. So it's going to be called Volume 1.2 instead of Volume 1. Basically, what we do with these is occasionally when we have a set, that's been out for a while, and we realize that we wish we could add a few more things to it. And so we've been doing a number of these refreshes. And if you already purchased a set in the past, anything that we add to it, you can just go ahead and go back to Tattoo Smart and download. So you don't have to pay anything extra for the new material. In this case, we did 21 new designs. And, Mike's going to jump in here and show us what he's been working on. If you want to follow along, there's actually a free set. It's 10 of the designs from the update that you can get for free. You can head over to tattoosmart.com and just click on the bar at the very top of the page. It'll take you right to where the free set is. So go ahead and head over there if you haven't already gotten that. You can do it now, or you can wait until the stream is over and just go get some free stuff on us. All right. So I want to go ahead and get Myke in here and get started. So let me see if I can bring him in. Myke.
Hey, what up, Russ?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How is it going? We are live.
Oh, hey, what's up, everybody?
All right. So let's just talk about what's going on in your world right now. Like I see that you are in your home office, if I recognize it right. So where is that exactly? I can never remember where you live anymore. Is it Philly or Asheville or?
I guess it's both, but yeah, it's both. Mostly it's Asheville though. I'm just hanging out up here in the mountains, kind of recovering. So hanging out, chilling, making art.
Yeah, recuperating, right?
Yep.
What's that about? What are you recuperating from?
Nothing. I just had brain surgery.
Oh yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Were they able to correct what was wrong with your brain?
I don't think they'll ever be able to fix that. I had this really weird tumor that forms on your pituitary. It doesn't usually. Actually, it's really common for people to get a tumor on their pituitary, which the pituitary is right under the brain, like up in between the carotid artery and like your optic nerves. And these tumors tend to grow off your pituitary, and then they can grow so big that they push on the optic nerves and make you blind. They can also, and usually they're almost always benign, but usually they don't do anything, but they could cause blindness, and then they go in and remove the tumor and it can give back vision. And then sometimes it secretes hormones, various different hormones, prolactin and other different hormones, and very occasionally it secretes growth hormone, which growth hormone makes you grow, or if you're like trying to get giant, huge bodybuilding, bodybuilders shoot it up for steroids. But when you reach a certain age, you stop growing and your body stops producing growth hormone. Well, if this tumor develops, then your body starts growing, but your bones are already done growing, so you're not going to grow taller. Your hands get bigger, small tissues like nose, lips, like cartilage in the joints and stuff like that. So I noticed that I was married a little while back, and then my wedding ring had turned into a pinky ring. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And then people started commenting like, wow, your hands are huge. And I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, it was a bunch of shit. And they found out that it was a tumor producing growth hormone. I went to a specialist in Charlottesville, Virginia, and they did a 5-hour surgery that went in through like both of my nostrils and drilled a hole through like my skull and sinus cavity. And like, it's really weird that the surgery the success greatly depends on the skill of the surgeon, which is a lot like a tattoo, right?
Right.
But it's not brain surgery. But the crazy thing is everybody's like, you got to get the best surgeon possible because that's going to predict the outcome. And so, and the best possible is the person that's done the most of these surgeries. And I'm like, well, how did this person get to this point? Right.
Yeah.
So like somebody had to go to him in the beginning to get this surgery, knowing that he had only done 2 or whatever. But anyway, and then it can like fuck your whole life if they're not good. It's right up on the carotid artery. It can kill you instantly. Or they can nick your pituitary and make you on replacement hormones for the rest of your life and monitoring those levels. And it's crazy. Luckily, I had a really amazing surgeon, Dr. John Jane at UVA Pituitary Clinic, and he believes he got the entire tumor. Yeah, and so I've just been recovering from that. It's been really crazy. My hormones have been suppressed for a long time, so now like my testosterone came back super high, and it was like really weird. I don't know. I'm not going to go on too much about that. I could probably talk about that for a really long time. But now,
I think we're all wondering what happens when your testosterone goes really high. What are some of the side effects that you can talk about in a public forum?
Well, one of the side effects was from not having testosterone for so long, and then it came back extremely high, started giving me like, and it was also my cortisol was really low. And then after the surgery, my cortisol went really high, not high, but to a normal level. And I wasn't used to having cortisol. And cortisol is what gives you the fight or flight. So it's like if you a tiger jumps out at you and you freak out or whatever, and your whole, like, you get in a fight, you get punched in the nose, and that feeling that courses through your body, or whatever, you get really scared and your adrenaline goes crazy. That's cortisol starts coursing through your body, telling you something's wrong, something's going on, like fight or flight. And so with the testosterone really high and the cortisol back, which I wasn't used to, like any little thing started making me have like a panic attack where I'd like hyperventilating, feeling like I'm about to pass out. Like I started, like ridiculous things, like I was looking on the news and they're like, oh, Montana's coronavirus cases are spiking. I'm like, like what the fuck? So most of what's been going on is like me sitting on a couch just like this, like trying not to watch anything stressful, just trying to let like all of my hormones balance out and stuff. The good thing is that my testosterone came back really strong. A lot of times after the surgery, people need a hormone replacement for that, and thankfully I didn't need that.
Wow, man. Well, that's really serious stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't have anything equally serious to tell you about in my world. But that's insane, man. Well, I'm glad that you're okay.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad that you're going to continue to, I guess, see some improvement from that.
It's really crazy that let me actually, I'm gonna do something real quick, and I want you to I'm gonna show you something real fast. I think it's crazy. You know what? Tell me, I just saw that you did a crazy ass Halloween, like you go out for Halloween, you had like a
yeah.
and carrot
Yeah,
all
man.
kinds of
Yeah.
craziness.
My neighborhood is like super awesome. And especially my street. I live on what they call Halloween Street in the neighborhood. It's like this perfectly flat street with like no driveways on the street. Everybody's driveways or their cars park on the backside of the house. So there's like the houses are really close to the street, and it's more like an old school kind of street. Even though these houses were built 15 years ago, it's not like the typical like Georgia suburban kind of neighborhood. So the neighbors on our street go all out for Halloween. The guy down the street has a hearse that he just pulls out for decoration every year. And this year he had a live band on his front porch. At one point there was
Was
a guy dressed as Winnie the Pooh with like one of those washboard things on his stomach, like playing the spoon, standing on top of the hearse.
and he was dancing on it.
Yeah, he was dancing during a live band Halloween night on a hearse, and then and I'm trying to compete with that shit, but I had some good stuff, man. My front yard and my house kind of looks like it's like out of New Orleans during Halloween, kind of. It's got like so I put like this skeleton hearse thing that's like almost full size, horse, and everything's eyes light up, and there's like a skeleton driving the hearse, and
Right.
fog machine and all this stuff, and like it's kind of scary. So like the early shift kids are kind of freaked out by our house, but like later on, we get a good crowd. So I don't know, it's like kind of like a movie set version of Halloween here, and that it's kind of been a week of that because we just got the fortune teller Zola, the tattoo fortune teller, installed at the shop. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did. I watched the unboxing video.
Oh, cool.
It looks pretty rad.
Yeah. It's the unboxing channel, or sorry, the unboxing videos on the Tattoo Smart YouTube. So if anyone cares, it's one of our recent posts. But Johnny Smith is a tattooer, currently living in Vermont, recently relocated from the Oregon area, but he made a fortune teller machine and completely like all the robotic stuff, like the hands move. And
did he make all that from scratch? He didn't take
I think so. Machine? Like I know that the torso and like the head that he used on mine was a prop that he got on eBay from The Walking Dead. And
that's awesome.
But yeah, he like built the whole box that it's in and created all of the systems that run it. So there's a dollar bill acceptor and you slide $1 in and that starts the cycle, and it's just like these really creepy noises as the gears turn and the hand moves and her head moves, and then the fortune card comes out. So we worked with a graphic designer named Mike Tabby to make these fortune cards, and they're all there's like 10 different cards, and then there's a special like golden ticket card that we can write in prizes on. So we're excited That's for awesome. People to be able to come in the shop again once these COVID restrictions are a little bit more relaxed, and kind of it'll be a fun part of the environment there.
Yeah, I'm hoping all that happens pretty soon. But
yeah, me too.
It is what it is. So I pulled up a picture.
Let me pull that picture in here.
Okay.
I can make it full screen.
Can you make it full screen?
There we go.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
what is going on here? Did you like Photoshop one of these or?
No. So look here. So right here, like if you notice, my ears are the same height. Basically, this one may be a little higher, and then this one is a little whatever. But it looks like the camera is closer in one than the other, but it's not.
Yeah, it looks like one of those like what it looks like using a different lens on your camera. But like your eyes in particular are like really bugged out of your head on the left side.
Well, they were, but also I was looking up. But they also were like I don't know, like the pressure. There was a lot of pressure in my head. So like all of my skin like enlarged, and so like you can look here, like look how much lower my nose is, like here versus here. It's like if you go and all of this, like my lips like drop down, like all of this, I was like a different person. And like within 2 weeks, I guess, So after the surgery, I was urinating like a gallon of fluid like every like 20 minutes, or a liter like every 20 minutes of fluid, like because I was retaining all of this fluid from the growth hormone. And so like it shrunk my lips, it shrunk my nose, it made my skin like healthier. It's like crazy like what that did. Like it
Damn.
like I was literally transforming into something different. And every day I was looking in the mirror going, what's going on? Like why, like, and I'm like getting older. I'm like, maybe I'm just getting older. But I knew something was not right. Um, and so how I originally found all this out was you can close off that. It's crazy. I haven't like really shared that at all, other than like close friends. But I plan on making a video about this whole experience just to let people know, because there are a lot of people that were concerned and sending thoughts and prayers and stuff like that. But
That was wild, man.
yeah,
Like, so, okay, like, so face the camera now. Let's see what your face looks like right now.
you can't
Yeah.
really tell because of the lighting
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. You got
And
to have the comparison.
I have big lips, but I've always had big lips my whole life. But like it made them like even bigger and like kind of deflated. It was weird. I just started getting uglier, and I'm like, man, why am I getting ugly? I'm starting to look like Shrek and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But you know what? Whenever I would say this to anybody watching: if you feel something's not right, listen to your body, listen to yourself. You know, if doctors aren't listening, get a second opinion.
Sure.
You know, the way I figured this out, I actually did like a home testosterone panel during the lockdown. I was like, there were a few things I noticed, like lack of energy and different things, and I just felt like my testosterone might have been low. I mean, I'm 44. Typically, that type of shit starts going down around then, right?
Sure.
And so I did the test, and it came back that I had really high prolactin levels, and it just set me on the journey to figure out all this stuff. And they figured it out. They're like, yo, you got to have surgery right away. And so here I am, you know, on the other side of it, and a whole lease on life. Like my whole appearance changed back to like what I used to look like. It's
Oh yeah.
it's crazy. Anyway,
All right. You want to jump into some tattoo talk?
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
So we have a couple of things planned for today. You know, we've scheduled this for a whole 2 hours, so I imagine we could probably fill it. But just to give you guys that are watching an idea of what the agenda is, we have a tattoo that Myke did of an ornamental mirror with some roses around it. And I asked Myke if he could kind of take us through like the design process, show us, you know, how he puts a design together, typically a digital design usually, but in this case, he used his brush set also. So just to kind of give you an idea of the whole process that Myke went through on this design, we have a quick little time-lapse video that I'm going to queue up right now. And so we'll just watch that. It's just about 1.5 minutes long. And then Myke and I will chat about the design process. Sorry, that video was garbage.
What happened?
It was like super glitchy. I don't know, for some reason it wasn't coming through smooth for me. So
Do you want me to
yeah, I think we should just, you know, pivot to jumping into your iPad. So let me pull that up here.
well,
Oops.
that's okay.
You ready? Okay. All right, sure. So you can bring up the pictures of the final tattoo, right? Or do you want me to do it?
Yeah,
I have them
no, I
right
can.
here. I have
can
the
bring it
final
up.
right here. Here it comes.
Okay.
There's the final. And so you've got the in progress one, and then that's on the left, and then on the right you have the. Is it healed on the right?
On the right, it's mostly healed. So, well, actually,
Okay.
everything you see on the left, because we broke it up into sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and so everything you see on the left is healed in the right.
Okay.
So the yellow, basically the yellow and the gray, is not healed. So that was what we did on that final session.
Right.
And so you can see, the grays are much different, but like as far as like the reds go, and the like I used rawhide from my Eternal set, and the red I used the red cross from my Eternal set.
The rawhide is what
Healed,
you have in the tips of the leaves, right?
yeah, that's what's in the tips of the leaves, and you can tell it essentially looks identical from the healed versus the fresh, except for the gray.
Yeah, the grays definitely changed quite a bit. What kind of gray was that? A gray wash that you used there?
It was a gray wash. I really like. I used to always mix my gray washes, but I started using the Eternal gray wash set, and I just really like it. It's consistent. It's always the same. I don't have to worry if I drop an extra drop in my cap or something like that of black or too much water or whatever. It seems to be really consistent. So um, here, thanks, big dog. Um, I here I think I used the like like dark gray, and then a medium gray and a light gray, and then I used black like around the edge of like the bevel of the mirror. I used probably a little bit of black, but mostly like a dark wash, and I really whipped it out real hard, and you can see those needle marks around the bevel.
Yeah, I love
um,
that. That looks like you were using a pretty big mag there. Like, was it like a 13 mag or
I honestly, any chance I can, I'm going to use Big Mag. I
what's
typically,
big for you though? Like you is it like
well,
20 or more, or
no,
what are you
no. I
talking?
mean, I will use like a 23 on a back piece or something, but no, big. I consider like I very rarely use anything smaller than a 9. I would say that was probably a 15, could have been a 17, because I wanted to try and keep in the larger areas of that gray wash. I wanted to try and keep it real consistent, so I wanted to use a larger mag. And really, it's all about just kind of just saturating it, not trying to lightly shade, not try to lightly shade it in there. That's why on the fresh one it looks, a little red, way darker than the
Yeah.
healed version. But with the wash, it looks darker because once it heals, the body pulls out all that water, and what's left is a minimal amount of black, and it gives it the gray appearance.
Right. Yeah, it's trippy, man. Like I think that I see a lot of fresh black and gray that I know, the artist is trying to get it to be the value that they want for the photo, for the fresh tattoo. And they're not really considering how much it's going to lighten up. And once you
Right.
kind of have a sense of, what the difference is between fresh and healed black and gray, you understand that, like, the fresh photo of a black and gray tattoo is not going to be the one that you want to show off. It's not really the true way it's going to look finally. This is
Right.
a great example of that. It's just shocking what the difference is there.
Well,
Um,
thank you.
I love it, man. Let's talk a little bit about the process that you use to make it. I'm
Okay.
going to take that this overlay off here. Let's see if that okay. So now it's just your iPad, right? And
Right. Okay.
right.
So
So are you
so
are you ready to
so
jump into
basic.
this?
Yeah, sure. So
Okay.
basically what we have here is this is this is the well this is the reference that I chose. My client my client sent me some reference, and she sent me this reference now. But she said, you know, I just want a mirror, an ornate mirror, and I want to have a couple roses, but I definitely want it in your style. This was just, you know, an idea. So that's what she sent me, and super nice. She's actually also a tattooer, a local tattooer here in Asheville. Really, really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always an honor
Um,
to get to tattoo a local
oh yeah,
tattooer.
of course. And so this was the reference that I found. Was I just, you know, I was looking around through like Victorian hand mirrors and things like that, but it was too much. It was too distorted
Mm,
at an angle here. So I wanted to try and make it flat. I could have tattooed it like that, maybe it would have been okay. But it's just for my style of tattooing, it's just not right, and it's too detailed. And I wanted to pull out a lot of the details while still keeping some of the details.
of course.
Um, so I ended up um, I distorted it to this, and what that video was I can go here and I'll back up, and so I flattened it and I'll back up and kind of walk through how I did
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Um,
This is one of the most interesting things, and I think a lot of artists don't know that you can do stuff like this in Procreate. So I'm excited to have you show this off.
Whoa, I don't know what I just did. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. So right here, um, I just right here I'm on uniform, and that's typically how you want to shrink and enlarge and do that with your images. But I'm going to go over here to freeform,
Right, real
and
quick, Mike, how did you pull up this tool
right here on the pointer tool, if you see right there,
at the
can
top left corner? Yeah, yeah, got it.
is that showing in your screen?
It turns blue, but we can't see your Apple Pencil, so I can show a. No, it's okay. Go ahead. I think they know where it's at. It's the arrow tool.
Oh, I just saw everybody's comments. I didn't see them all. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you know, comments are. Some, I'm watching some comments, and sometimes I can put one up on the screen here. Russell B just said, "Hey guys from Pilot Mountain, North
Hey, what up,
Carolina,"
Russell? What up, Scott?
and
Thanks
then
for
we've
the
got
support.
yeah, he said that he has a few signed prints for you hanging in his art room. Huge inspiration. Stay sober. Keep on. I imagine it's keep on trucking, but it's not
Yes,
all there
probably.
for me right now on the screen. We're gonna
Yeah,
interpret that as keep on trucking.
it says keep on trucking. Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Well, thank you, Mr. Fit. All right, so I did this. Is this what is this called? Little arrow select tool or whatever. It's how you select your image.
Yeah.
And instead of the uniform, I click here on the freeform where you see it highlight here. Now, if you come here, if you use your, so I have it set up to where I use my fingers to move tools or to move images, but not to draw with.
Okay.
Um, so if I hover here, or if I click on one of these little blue dots, and if I hold on it, see where distort popped up
Yeah.
at the top? I'll do it again.
You're clicking
Look
on
at
the dots in the corner
I
of
click
the
on the
bounding
dot
box.
at the
Right.
top dot at the corner, and when I do it, distort will pop up when I hold it down. And
Mm-hmm.
now this is going to distort the image, and now it's going to lay it down even more. So if I wanted to like say like lay this down on the table, like I could do that to
Right.
have that image. But now if I want to pull it, if I pull it up, I'm gonna have to get back in the screen a little bit. If I pull it up, it's gonna lay it back. It's gonna lay it down more. So here we go. basically, so I could change it and play with different perspectives, enlarge it width-wise.
I love that. Yeah. I use this so
So
much.
good.
A lot of times I'll have this happening on top of the photo of the body part too. So I can, even when I'm in like kind of the reference sketching phase, I can play around with things and get the shapes right.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah,
So I, yeah, I
that'll
won't,
get
we
to
won't
work.
make you like try to get it perfect, but I think we get it.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
do a
but you
lot
can
with
do
that
that.
tool.
I can also go here. Do you want me to show them a little something with the brush set? You want to talk about that, or?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think we'll get to that. I want to see a little bit about how you work on your outlines on top of that reference. Can
Okay.
you pull up and show the outline process a little bit?
All right. So here's the outline, and what I'll do is I'm gonna double tap two finger tap on the layer, and it's gonna bring up the opacity. But you could also tap on this in right here, and then the opacity slider will be right there. If you tap on that little in.
Mm-hmm. I don't see anything
Oh
happening.
wait, no. What's it not doing?
Got two layers turned on at the same time.
Oh, do I? Okay. Sorry. Okay,
So
I'm just going to slide it over here a little bit. I'm going to lighten this a little bit so that my outline is a lot darker. And I'm going to go here to this inking. I typically use this technical pen. And now this pen, this is like stock in your Procreate, but I like to go in and change a few things. And just to make it like just however I want, just more comfortable for me. Here, if you look at the streamline, most people I think that use Procreate know about streamline, but if you don't know about streamline, streamline is, I'm going to draw right here. And what it is, you'll see it kind of like the line kind of like stays straight. How would you describe how streamline works?
It basically forces it to be smooth.
Smooth.
Even if there's a little bit of a wiggle in your stroke, it's going to smooth it out. And depending on how much of that streamline you have turned on, the effect is more pronounced.
So I just did, let's do this. I did that with it at 98, and then now I'm going to do it at 3.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I could draw that if I went really slow.
Mm-hmm.
But because the iPad is so slippery, even with I have a paper like feel,
mm-hmm.
it just comes out.
You have a screen protector. There's one called
Yeah.
Paper-like that I have.
Yeah, I have the paper-like feel. It does give you a little bit of lag. Whoa.
Yeah. I think the people watching on YouTube might notice that it all looks a little bit jumpy, but that's just it's actually way smoother in person. You know, it's just the settings that we're able to achieve here on this live stream.
And then if you go here to properties, and right here where it says brush behavior,
mm-hmm.
It says maximum size. I have it set at 10% maximum size and minimum size set at 5%. And so what that means is if I come back over here and I have my brush set up, this is the right here, see the where like brush size 100% is going to be the maximum size. And then minimum size is going to be 1%. Right? So I set that maximum size to be at 10%. So when I go and I do a line set at maximum size, it's going to be this. Hold on, let me add another layer real quick. It's going to be that same size all the time. And now if I go down here, it's going to be that size all the time. So I don't have to worry about, oh, where was my line at? It was like here somewhere. Because if I click off of it and I want to make a smaller line, I'm like, oh, where was I? It's like I'm grabbing, okay, here's my 9-round fucking liner. and I'm
Yeah.
going to grab that machine, and then here's my Type 5, and there you go. I don't
Perfect.
have to worry about like in here or in here. So you can set that to whatever you want it to be, whatever you feel, you want your lines to be. And so
Yeah,
you
I think
always
that's a
know.
really, really strong technique. Actually, I did a video about that on the channel. It's called Locking Your Brush Size. I think
Nice.
it's like episode 1 of the Procreate workflow series that I started and haven't completed any further episodes. So there's only one episode. It's that one. And I hope to add to it soon. But I think I would mention, if you're going to mess with a brush, whether it be a stock Procreate brush or a Tattoo Smart brush, you can always swipe on it and hit duplicate so that you can get back to the original.
You can reset them.
Yeah, they did add a reset feature somewhat recently.
Yeah, there is a reset feature, but it is better too.
Plume Tech says that's a pro tip. All right. You've got your money's worth.
There you go.
There's a in the chat. There's a link to the locking your brush size video. Cool. Thanks, Sarah. I've got my assistants working on the chat room, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so here's a little trick. So what I did with the tattoo, like if you look here, this little pan engraving is amazing. And if I was doing this tattoo big, then I would probably go ahead and try and do something like that. But this tattoo isn't that big, and I'm not doing like super intricate black and gray or whatever. And someone could probably totally kill that, but it's not something that I would do. So what I ended up doing was I did this like oval, and if you do a circle and you hold it there, like this is the oval. And now I'm still pressing down. While I'm still pressing down, if you do move your pencil up and down, you can enlarge it before you let go of the pencil.
Mike, I want to switch over to my screen so they can see that in action a little bit better. I've got a different camera view that might be helpful for that.
Okay, yeah.
One second here. Just let me switch up some things. All right. No, not that one. No. How about that one? Yeah, cool. All right, get out of there, paper. So what he's doing here is you can just make any shape and just hold for a second, and it will try to interpret what it is that it thinks you drew. So in this case, he drew his oval, and he just waited for a moment, and he was deciding exactly where to drop it. Once you let go, then it's there and it's locked in. So that's called quick shape, and you can do that with a straight line. You can do that with, it will interpret all kinds of shapes, like it'll interpret a triangle, something like that. I bet you could even do a star. See how bad that will be. It's terrible. All right. So maybe you have to try a few times for a star, but that's such a cool feature. Like I'd never designed software until Procreate came out with it, and everybody was wondering like, where's the shape tool, Procreate? And then they came out with that, and it was like, okay, it was worth the wait. So back to you, Mike. Back to your iPad there.
All right. Can you go to my iPad real quick?
I'm trying to.
All right, let's try this. Let's see if this works. So this is that little time lapse of me drawing this.
Perfect. It's much smoother when you play it that way.
Yeah. And so here I'm grabbing a couple roses out of my stamp set. If you guys don't have it, you're in for a treat and you want to get it because we've got something to talk about.
Yeah, there's, I mentioned it in the intro, but there's
you did mention it.
Yeah, there's a free, a 10 set freebie that we started giving away. It's called a MC Flash Sampler. And if you go to Tattoo Smart, it's easy to find right now if you're watching this live because there's a bar along the top of the website. And if you just click the bar, it'll go straight to it. But I imagine it will, live on for quite some time. Even if you're watching the replay of this, you can still go to tattoosmart.com and look for the MC Flash sampler, and you can get that free set.
Here's what I like. Check this out. This is my little masterpiece.
Nice. Smooth.
And then
super slick.
Transitioning.
Yeah. Some advanced editing.
Advanced editing. It's
funny,
like
a lot of the stuff I do when I'm video editing is similar, and I found a lot of little hacks to make things happen when I didn't know the fancy way to do them. And they're like that, it's just like, I'm just gonna line these two things up. Like I do all kinds of weird stuff. Just trying to get my cross.
I'm all about like how does this work? Can I do this? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Like I'm all playing with shit.
You're always showing me stuff, man. Like, as much as I think I know about these programs, like you'll come out of left field with something all the time and just be like, yeah, did you know about this? I'm like, no, I didn't know about that. You've taught me more than probably anyone.
You've taught me more than anyone as well, Russ.
Oh.
And it's you have, especially with how I colored this filigree world scroll work.
Mm-hmm.
scroll work mirror. Because if we go, actually, because they went through the drawing of that, and basically I just traced this, and there's like little things like this little baby head and stuff that I just got rid of it. There's a lot of little these little bevels that I kind of kept that were like really nice organic. It's just has like a really nice organic feel to this mirror. I really love it. I can imagine if you held it, like this handle is just probably feels nice,
It's the exact shape of your dainty hand.
Yes, my dainty hand.
Your post brain surgery smaller hand. Would love to hold that. Yeah, I get it. I mean, you're mostly just using a single line weight. Sometimes you jump to a smaller line and you've got that handy setting to do that quickly and reliably. I think that's super interesting, man. So what happens next in this design process? How do you get to the end there?
How do I get to the end there?
Yeah, how did you arrive? This is where you can plug your brush set. Like,
plug my brush set. Okay, so all right, so we get the drawing done, and then I just came in here, and over here on my brush set, I got my brush set right here. I've got some roses. Grab this rose. And what I like to do really is I like to use, I almost made a mistake that I typically don't make that often, but sometimes I do. It would have been really apparent there, but where I draw on the wrong layer and I forget to add a layer.
Always add a new layer every time you bring in a new stamp.
Always add a layer. And I always do my lines on one layer, I'll do my black on a separate layer, I'll do my every individual color on a different layer, because then I can always go and change that. It's a lot harder when you have them all together. Also, I like to make merch, and a lot of times my screen printers really appreciate that I have the colors separated.
Right.
So always add multiple layers, name them, so you'll remember. All right, so I'm gonna grab a rose, drop a rose right here. I'm gonna go over here. This is freeform. And then I would just go in here and figure out where I want to drop it.
Do you ever use the warp feature to change things up a little bit?
Sometimes I do, not that often.
That's something that I end up using a lot, but you know how to do it, right?
How to use the warp feature?
The warp tool. Yeah, it's just there. Yeah. It's
So
this
it
one.
just, yeah, no, I'm on it right now.
Yeah. Can you zoom in a little bit? Your picture is super small now. There you go. Yeah, I think the danger is with your traditional style that using this might make it look more like, whoa, crazy,
Holy
right?
crap, you can pull it over on itself.
Now that's how you can do those sticker tattoos where it looks like you're lifting the tattoo off the skin.
That is totally how you can do that sticker tattoo. Well,
So the danger is that you could easily make it look more like new school, I think.
Well, very
if
much
you're not careful.
make it new school. But
The danger for you, but for someone else, it might be a benefit.
Might be a benefit for sure. Whoa. It's like doing like a little can.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would, and then I'm going to go here. I'm going to go back to my drawing real quick. I'm going to do an automatic select. No, that didn't work. Let's see. Is there a reference layer?
Do you have something already set as reference?
No, there must be some stuff open. Oh, there's a...
There it is. That little open gap in your line work.
Yep, I see it. Oh,
wrong layer.
Wrong layer. No, I'm on the right layer.
Your brush opacity is turned down.
Oh, you're right. We were just talking about that. Is there anywhere else that it's open?
That one might do it. Yeah.
That should be it. Okay, so
now do you set that to reference?
Right. So
okay.
Then set this to reference, and then so I'm going to go here. I'm going to do an automatic select. Nope, there's something still open.
Is it your threshold settings on the selection? I see that.
There it is, right there. Okay.
Those pesky little gaps.
Pesky little gaps will get you every freaking time.
Now your lines are like some kind of brown color.
There's something else. Okay, I give up on doing this. there must be. There's something else open. Where do you set the threshold?
It's like after you touch the screen for the automatic selection, keep your Apple Pencil or your finger on the screen and then move it to the threshold. I can demonstrate on my end, but let's see if you can figure it out. Yeah, so swipe left. That didn't help. There must be a gap somewhere. I see it. That's good enough. That's good enough, Mike. You got it.
It doesn't look. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's good enough. You got it.
So I'm gonna invert this.
So you tap the button that says invert at the bottom, yeah?
Tap the button that said invert. I don't know if there's like a...
Did it invert?
It did invert. Oh, wait.
No.
No, it did invert. It did invert, but...
That's it. That's what you want. Cool. So that just makes it super easy to erase what you don't want to see there.
Yeah, super easy.
The overlap.
I know on Clip it makes it to where you can just click a delete button. So anyway, that's
so you use that rose twice actually, right? in the
Yeah,
actual
but
tattoo.
what I'll also do is let me turn that off. Um, and then, I mean, yeah, I use it again. But what I like to do is I like to go in and then I'll try and change it, you know? I mean, it's still,
Yeah.
it's like just like a base, but if I, you know, not all the times, I don't even know, I don't even think I changed it for this, you know? But,
When people come
but
to you for a rose, they know they're getting the Mike Chambers rose. You know,
yeah,
it's
and in
really similar a lot of times.
in my set, yeah, they really are. It's a repetitive,
What color are you using right now? It looks totally different than the other black.
I think it's just black. What I would do in this situation, I'm not doing it now, but I guess maybe I'll do it real quick, is I would go ahead and add another layer,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would
Right, quick shape, perfect.
do that, and then I
Mm-hmm.
would, whoop, my eraser's too big. That's, you know, I'm like doing this real quick, so it's not going to be the greatest, but
That's a nice trick.
so that, and then you can, you know, you can always, my fingers are too big for this. If you, to put the layer, to merge the layers together, you pinch them together.
I have the hardest time with that one too.
It's so hard. My fingers are so
Yeah,
big. So I'll just come in and
sure.
then
Take
change it
take me
up,
to
you
the
know?
take me to the final outline and show me how you like to color things in a little bit.
All right. So let's
So I don't know
click
if you
on,
always do a color study or if you typically just get a
I,
nice line drawing and then print a stencil, but
I don't normally do a color study. I used to always do a color study. So here's the final drawing. I'm going to set that to a reference layer. And I'm going to add another layer there. And then I'm going to grab this handy dandy spit shade set. Um, so what do you want? What do you want, to the final drawing or
yeah,
to,
show me some black shading. That's where you start usually, right?
yeah. Okay, so this is, you don't have to do this, but it's a really quick, if you do this in the select tool and you click automatic, and if you look over here, I have a layer. I'm just gonna name it black. Um, and then here I have this layer and I have it set as reference. If you click on it, you come down, see it, there's a little check mark next to reference. It's going to always know that that layer is there. And anytime you use the select tool, it's going to reference back to that layer. So if I click automatic select tool and I click on that, then it's going to select that. And then, so then whenever I go here and I click on this and I'm on the black, I'm not gonna do total watercolor right now. I'm gonna grab this little magic shader. It'll be way quicker. But I,
Yeah, I love this brush.
so,
This is
oh
the
yeah,
brush that you can do everything with just one brush, and it's going to give you that like look of like the
what
ink
is up with
bleeding
my
into the
black?
paper. It's not black. Yeah, you're using
It's
some kind
not,
of
it's,
brownish color.
what's going on? Oh wow, I thought it was black. It must have just selected it. You're right, it's not black at all. I'm gonna redo that then with actual black.
Do you have any? I see you've got that little like white edge on your selection.
That's,
Do you know how to get rid of that?
Well, we just
That's
turned it
that.
down.
That's
We just
that.
turned
Yeah,
down the
that's that selection
threshold.
threshold. Yeah. So you have to find the right amount of that threshold to get rid of that.
What the?
And now it's spiraling wildly out of control.
It is. I don't get it. Yeah, that's.
Mark Steele says, much respect to you, Myke. I thought this was a good time to show that comment while you're struggling with this selection.
I don't honestly I don't really care about that white line. Oh, you know what it is? It's I have my black on top of my lines.
Okay.
And I'm
Maybe
gonna
that would
also
help.
set this to multiply
Okay.
because I think it has a white background.
Let's see if that helps. Making groups.
Yeah, I'm just getting all kinds of crazy here.
It's all good.
All right, there we
To
go.
those of you guys in the chat room, if you have anything that you would like to ask Myke, whether it be about this drawing or tattoo design in general, just throw it up in the chat and we'll see if we can answer it.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see the final colored in. Did you have a full color study of this one or no? Or just the actual tattoo?
I don't have a full color study.
All right.
I have the actual
I'd like to go
tattoo.
back and see, where you ended up then. Let's see the complete final tattoo.
Okay, so here's
Slick.
that's the final tattoo.
Can you blow it up a little bit bigger?
Yeah, don't look all that great so big. That we've lost a lot of resolution in here. Also, the lines are all healed. The red's
Right,
all
so they look a little
healed.
gray next to the.
Yeah.
Did you just blast over the lines with the yellow, knowing
No.
that the black would come back, or were you careful?
Maybe in some places the black will come back through.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that yellow.
Yeah, I love what you did there. And first thing I will say is that, you avoided the temptation of putting too much dark in there. You had the black lines and you were able to get the detail, to be high enough to where, you get the sense of the ornamental mirror, but you didn't like go crazy with black shading in that part. And I think that was a very wise decision. Instead, you were able to trap that light value frame in with dark almost everywhere by where you place those leaves. And I think that's what really gives it the contrast and makes, what otherwise might have been kind of a busy tattoo really work quickly. It's because you've got this bold light yellow, surrounded by all that black. Can you talk a little bit about that choice? I mean, I guess you agree with me. I mean, that's what you did, but
yeah, I mean, honestly, I really appreciate that, because this is kind of like a lot of the things that there's a lot of things in this tattoo that I've learned from you, especially with this yellow. And yeah, I chose to keep the black leaves on the outside, and I didn't, and also the clouds. Like I put the clouds around, but I didn't want to fill those clouds solid. I wanted to keep those open. And I wanted the focal point to really be the scroll work around on the the gold mirror or brass or whatever it is, and so
are there two different yellows in there? Is it three or is it two?
Well, it's not really two different yellows. It's a trick that I picked up from you, where I took the yellow Yellowstone out of my my Eternal set, and I mixed it with light purple. And
oh, really? That old trick. Okay.
That
cool.
that old trick.
Yeah. It looks great. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've had those colors in bottles now for so long that I've almost forgotten about the time when we had to
Yeah.
get fancy like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still mix a lot of my colors. I mean, Eternal has like a million colors, and they're generous enough to hook me up with like everything. But I really still try and keep it simple. Like, I really don't even have pink. I still mix like red and white. I mean, so I don't have to have another color. I mean, I at
Yeah,
the shop I do, but when I'm traveling, I don't take it. I try and cut down on bringing as few
sure.
colors as I possibly can. But yeah,
Yeah.
so here I didn't want to use black, and I wanted to separate and give some depth to the engraving.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, it's a traditional tattoo. There's nothing crazy fancy about this tattoo, but I do really like it. Um,
It's just a
and
little bit fancy, like
it's a
you wouldn't expect to see, that bevel effect on the glass on the mirror in a traditional tattoo. I think that's,
right.
kind of stepping out a little bit. If it were me, I would not have been able to resist putting a reflection of something in the mirror, but that's because I'm just an overachiever. But I think what you did there looks great.
I'm
Um,
not saying that I might at some time go
I
back
mean,
and do
you could
that.
put an entirely different traditional tattoo, just like line work based,
Yeah,
right in the mirror or something fun like that. But I mean, it looks
yeah,
great. And
yeah.
I think another thing I wanted to touch on was the careful use of skin in your roses. Can you zoom in on one of those roses and kind of talk about your strategy for where you put the color and where you don't?
That is kind of. I don't want it too heavy, so I don't want it too heavy. So I just kind of like feel it out as I go. I'm like, well, I'm going to bring this to the line, and I'm not going to bring that to the line, and I'm going to keep, you know, a little bit more skin here. I
There
don't
seems
want
to
it
be a
too.
little bit of a pattern, though. There's a couple of leaves that are all the way in the bottom of the rose that are totally solid red. Do you feel like pretty safe just doing those first? Do you just go ahead and fill those in, or do you like leave the gap on some and fill the
No,
gap in later?
those that had the little depth of the black in them, I definitely probably go and fill them in later. I
Hmm.
mean, fill them in first, and
Yeah.
I just block out that stuff, and then I just start rocking. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I like these petals that are up top that are closer to us
Hmm.
in the foreground. Um, I want them a little more open so
Right.
they have that skin break.
And then you've got those flip backs towards the middle that are completely empty. That's one thing that I always have trouble, not putting something in there. Like for me,
Right.
it would have been hard to not make some kind of like light pink or something.
Well,
That's
I
one of the
used
things
to
that I struggle with, trying to take things too far sometimes.
yeah, I used to do that a lot, and it just felt like it just weighted the tattoo down. I mean, my tattoos are already pretty heavy, so I want to kind of try and have some balance, and you can see a lot of people will do um I mean, my apprentice was telling me, he was talking about the rule of thirds the other day, and I was like, that's not even really real. Um, but in a sense it is, and in a sense it's not. Um, but like sometimes, like you want stuff to breathe. Like if you look at this rose, so I have one. I did all these petals different, right?
Hmm.
Um, but this one that's just straight solid, right? Oh, that's not a pen. The one that's just straight solid is not one that I would ever really do a rose like this with a solid petal, just because it needs to breathe. And I'm going to end up putting black all in here and
Hmm.
shading out. So it's going to have dark colors on dark colors. I remember one time, this was probably 10 years ago, Russ, you told me, you were like, there always needs to, can't be a line on its own, like this line here, like right there,
Yeah.
like this one with the skin break. Because but there's leaves on that side. But
Right.
you used to always tell me you can't leave just a line by itself. But
I,
I still do it anyway.
Yeah.
I still do it.
Yeah.
Like I'll have my green will go up to here on the leaf,
Mhm.
and this line will be bare. Sometimes I'll like put some shading here, but
Yeah, that's just my own, kind of unique perspective on things. I'm
well,
always trying to figure out how to get rid of the line that has nothing on either side of it. But
I've
when I see it the way you're doing it, it doesn't bother me. When I see that tiny little skin gap, it works for some reason.
well, I mean, I've never forgot that. Like there's tons of things that I've learned from you over the years, that there's things that I've never forgot, and I have utilized that to an extent. There's places
Yeah.
where I break out, and so that's like where people have rules where, they're like, oh no, you got to stay in this rule of thirds, and no, that's not really true. You got to go with what you feel. And I don't know, maybe everyone doesn't have that, and they need these rules, and they can't just step out of that box, but I mean, there was this I know a guy that could slay Flash. He could do Flash amazingly, but he did not want to do Flash. He just wanted to custom design all his tattoos, and he couldn't draw a custom tattoo to save his life. But he could tattoo Flash like a printer. Um, so I don't even know where I was going with that one. I don't. But I mean, some people do, and you have to know your strengths. So you have to play into your strengths and use what you have. If that's the case, if you can reproduce Flash amazingly, there's not that, like, that's tattooing. Custom tattoos, that's tattooing. It doesn't. It doesn't. It one way is not better than the other way. Um, it's it's all tattooing, and it all has a place. Whether you're taking, you know, pieces of different Flash and making your own custom tattoo out of Flash, taking a Flash stamp set and then rearranging it and redrawing it a little bit and using it, that's that's tattooing. It's all creative, but you have to know where your strengths are, you know.
Right.
Um, but
I'm struggling trying to get both of our pictures up at once right now. I'm pressing all the buttons and nothing is working. That's why it keeps switching back and forth. Let me see if I can get this settled here.
hey, Mark, traditional tattooing is definitely more popular than it has been in the past. Well, except for whenever it was being done, when it was just called a tattoo. Um, yeah, it's definitely become way more popular, especially with like the younger generation, and I think that's awesome. Um, yeah, I think it's cool. What other comments we got over here?
I got it. We're both
Got
here
it.
again. All right.
We're back.
Man, that was weird. Awesome. So yeah, we've got a few more minutes before we were scheduled to end this thing.
What were
Not
we
sure
gonna
what we
do?
should do now. I did want to actually show off your brush set. Could
Okay.
we go back to your iPad view and kind of show off what's in the set and what's in the let's start with the free set. Show off what's in the free set.
Okay. So the free set. Here's the Flash Country Basket from. I'm just kidding. That's not. It's the sampler basket. It's okay. So here's the free set that everyone can go right now and download off of Tattoo Smart. The link is here in the chat. So we have Mr. Lucky, American flag. We got an eagle on a shield, dagger. I mean, you guys can see all of it. It's 10 like staple traditional items that you can draw, do whatever you want to with. Here, let me do a little something real quick. All right. Oh, damn! I keep doing that. Let me add a layer. All right. So I'm going to throw that book down there. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to add another layer. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab this all seeing eye. And from what we showed you guys earlier, I'm going to drop that all seeing eye right there. Now I'm going to go over here to the transform tool. Oh, that's not transform tool. That is. And I'm going to go to freeform. And so I'm going to grab here till it goes to distort. Put that there. Go down there. I'm making sure to keep this level with this so I can get the dimensions right to try and
It's actually like you've got these 4 corners of the square around the all-seeing eye, and what you want to do is place them on the, on the shape of the rectangle in perspective. That's what he's doing right now. He's imagining that the square lives inside of that rectangle, and there it is. It's like a perfect way to transform the all-seeing eye to fit on top of the book.
Yeah. So now there you go. That. You can totally add anything you want to the book. You know, you could do whatever you want, and then if you wanted to, you could, drop another layer and then come over here and grab a candlestick. Drop a candlestick over here, and let's take that there. Grab these. I'm going to try and pinch them together if my big old fingers will let me do that. And then so
yeah, it kind of works. It's a little weird. It's like
it's a little weird,
slanted. But I think you could fix it.
I can fix it. I can fix it.
Maybe you should like keep the book more how it was and slant the candle.
No, maybe I should. No, I would have to.
That would be harder.
Yeah, I mean it's close, but like it's not. Maybe I would redraw the base of the candle in that perspective.
Right.
Because right now it's like a straight on perspective. Yeah, I would draw that a little differently, but there you go. You kind of get the idea. And
so what else do you have in the full brush set?
All right,
there's some new stuff. Okay. Like all the new stuff is towards the top, right?
All right. So here's the brush set. So
that bison is new.
Yes, we have a bison here.
Got a couple of anvils.
Shark, couple anvils,
some dice,
some cool dice.
Those dice are kind of an odd fit. They're like almost more like 90s new school dice.
They're
not really. No, okay.
Nah, they're. I mean, they could be, but they've made their way into the traditional basket.
Right.
So
I know you were careful to put the dots on the dice in the proper place, right?
Yeah, I was, because if you I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so it goes in a specific order. So, and I kept having to like redo it. So it's like 1, and then underneath would be the 2 of this where the 6 die is.
Yeah.
2,
opposite
3,
sides equals 7.
Yeah, and
opposite
then
sides equals 7.
Right. So, yeah, it was just.
Pay attention, kids. Opposite sides equals 7.
Most people that draw dice are not going to get it right.
No, they're not thinking about that.
No, they're not. Got a cross, book, got a treasure chest over here, coffin, got a bone. Can do all kinds of stuff with bones. Got a horse head, anchor, message in a bottle.
Pop that gramophone up there. That's a good one.
All right.
I don't know if it goes with the book and the candle, but
we could make it go with the book and the candle, and then we could take the message out of the bottle and like draw in like some like bourbon or something, and it would be way bigger in relation.
Yeah. We got a scale issue here. It's 20 feet away, gramophone.
Yeah, it's actually it's actually over here, like chilling on this like table over here in the corner. So
that's how it works. Okay.
Yeah, it's like over there and on this like table. And this one's like just like floating in the clouds. So
some true art going on. Tattoo Smart's live stream with Myke Chambers. The crazy thing is that, you know, there were 53 people watching, but now there's 41. I'm surprised that the 41 are still here.
I'm surprised any of you guys are still here watching.
I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm so happy that you guys have been in the chat room too.
You know what?
This has been fun. This was a total experiment that took me 3 months to even try to do, because, you know, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm surrounded by pretty legit lighting and video camera gear, and all of this stuff is like super complex in order to get to this level of a production live. So yeah, this has been a major undertaking just to do this, and I appreciate you, Myke, being the first guest guinea pig to try this out with us. I'm pretty pleased with how smoothly it's gone. I feel like we can only get better from here, though. But I appreciate those of you guys who are here for it live, and we're going to put this up later. It will be, you know, up on the YouTube channel, which hopefully you'll subscribe to. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications, and continue to follow along. And Mike's got his own YouTube channel too, Myke Chambers on YouTube.
Yep.
And it's been a little while since you did a video, but you've done some really great videos too.
I'm gonna be putting some videos together soon. Got it in the works. I've just been look how cool this is, guys. This is Russ's new spit shade set. Look at that. This is so meditative, Russ. I literally can I'll go to a coffee shop and pull out my iPad and I'll just start fucking watercoloring, and I'll like just forget the time. I won't even pick up my phone and look at Instagram. I'm just sitting here like just doing watercolor.
Let me tell you, like it's so crazy, man, because it's surreal for me, because like the paper that you're drawing on, like that paper was a real sheet of paper that my good friend Dor in Israel, actually, I was there in Israel late last year, and I was in this shop called Ink Donkey in Tel Aviv, and Dor and Alexei, that we did some of the Japanese sets with, work there, and that whole entire shop is covered in hand-painted flash. Most of it was done by Alexei and Dor, and super awesome Japanese stuff and traditional stuff. And I was asking them like if they could give me some tips, you know, because I knew that I wanted to get a good amount of like tea stain, coffee stain papers, and they seemed to have a lot of practice with it. And Dor was so awesome, man. He just pulled out the pad of arches and you know, made some coffee and some tea, and just, you know, covered a massage table with pages out of a Arches book, and stained all of these for me. And some of them were 1 layer and some were 2 layers. And he gave me all of these sheets, and I brought them back and sat on it for a little while, you know, waiting for the time and the motivation. And then I was like, how am I going to do this? Am I going to like scan them? Or, you know, I was afraid that you wouldn't be able to, you know, see the light hit the paper the way that it does. And so I ended up, you know, deciding to photograph them. And I have this little softbox. It's over to my right. It's about like 2 feet across, and the light that's mounted to it is, you know, a pretty fancy video light. And I used that, and I did the whole set. I, you know, spent a few hours like carefully photographing these pages, and I got them into Photoshop to see what they looked like, and they just weren't good enough. It was like the whole thing, you know, had to be redone all over again. So I ended up buying an even bigger softbox just to get it right, and went through the whole process a second time, you know, taping each page up to the wall, carefully photographing it, and then going into Photoshop and doing like a nice edit, and all that before, you know, outputting that in 20 different pages, derived all from the stuff that Dor and Alexei helped me make. And
that's awesome.
And then there was, of course, making the brushes, you know, and going through that whole process was super intense and time consuming. But, you know, seeing it in action and seeing other artists use it and make incredible stuff with it and enjoying it, it's really been a cool experience, man. So I'm glad you dig it.
I definitely dig it.
And
Also, guys,
it looks legit, man. Like,
no,
it
it
really
looks
does.
legit. I want to point out that I use this wing for my stamp set, but it's not like it looks much different whenever you use like these liners.
Yeah,
So
all
like
the
I
liners in the spit shade set have a lot of texture on them, so they look more like the way that lines do when they're bleeding into paper.
yeah, the lines like are like really rad. It would look like a real painting. Let me show you guys really quick. I know we're gonna have to jump off of here, but I have this one that I'm working on right now, and like the lines like look like they were,
Yeah.
like
They,
painted.
yeah, did you use the Sharpie markers on that,
I
or which
did
ones?
this one. I
Yeah.
think I used the new Sharpie. I
Yeah.
really like the new Sharpie. So it looks like that looks like I painted that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's pretty believable. I don't know
Yeah.
how much, the resolution is coming through on the YouTube screen, but you can see the light like glaring off of the blacks. That's one of the
Right.
special features of the spit shade
Yeah.
set paper files. They've got this
This
extra couple of layers sitting on top. It's like a hamburger bun where the top bun is the photo of the watercolor paper, and the bottom bun is the photo of the watercolor paper, and the top bun that sits on top of all of your artwork in between is going to show that glare through a special kind of layer mode.
and it's set at sheen, right?
Yeah, well, there's one that's set at sheen that shows the glare on the
And
paper
light,
surface, and the
right.
other one is set at a different layer mode that kind of it sort of makes the shadows in the paper a little bit more intense. And you can open those up and play around with how much of those you apply, or you can take it away entirely. But yeah, that's probably a whole other live stream. We do have a nice demo video that Danny Derrick did on the Tattoo Smart channel that will show you the use of the spit shade set.
Man, Danny's videos are looking rad.
Danny Derrick, that's a channel to follow, man. Like, he's a great tattooer. Not a lot of followers. Here's the thing: if somebody is a good tattooer making great YouTube videos, no one's watching. There's no subscribers. Like, Danny will put out one of these amazing videos, and there's no views, and then YouTube's algorithm will show you the most bullshit tattoo content ever, and it's one of those things that it's driving me crazy. Doing this live stream today, I really didn't know if using all of our email list and all of our social media contacts, if we would be able to get anybody at all to show up and watch this. But I'm happy that we have had the turnout we've had, and I hope to hope that people that are here will tell others about it, and spread the word, so that YouTube is a place that everybody goes to learn about everything. And there's just not enough great tattoo content on YouTube. And it doesn't have to be like how to tattoo, here's how you outline a tattoo, kind of like beginner stuff. We can stick to more in-depth design-based content, and it's going to be interesting to tattooers no matter how many years of experience you have. And that's what we aim to do with the Tattoo Smart channel. I know that's what you do with your channel, Mike. And Danny Derrick's the same way. So, there's a small group of great content coming from tattooers on YouTube. And, I feel that all of those channels need your support, from the tattoo education channel with Guy Aitchison. Let's see.
Yeah, if we can
Trying
support
to think of some others. Can you think of
actual,
some other channels to talk about? Like, I just really want to take an opportunity to,
not right offhand.
The Fireside Tattoo podcast channel, Fireside Tattoo.
I was just talking to Joe Cap, and he was talking about making a YouTube doing something, and
I hope he
told him
does. That would be amazing.
I hope he does, and I hope he really gets his personality out there, because he can be really interesting and entertaining. He's definitely, an interesting person.
Absolutely.
So, a great guy. But
I'm looking in the comments section here for something to talk about. What is Danny's channel? I believe Danny's channel is Danny Derrick on YouTube.
Nope, there it is.
Danny. Someone put it in the chat.
That's his spit shade tutorial.
There it is. Yeah. So Danny did some work, for us a couple of times now for the girl head set and for the spit shade set. We actually were able to work with him and partner with him to make those videos. They're on his channel, but they're also on ours. Someone mentioned, I was trying to remember Fireside. Someone said Fireside. I love it. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, Keith. Keith from my Philly shop is watching with his wife. He says, hey.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, guys, in the chat room, if you know of any other good tattoo channels, throw them up here so we can go take a look. I'm really hoping to improve the level of tattoo content on YouTube.
Yeah. I try not to put out like too much like actual like technical stuff, but while still giving information to tattooers. I did think about, like someone mentioned, if Tattoo Smart has its own Patreon. I did think about doing like a Patreon or something that I could offer more in-depth content to tattooers that are actually, legit tattooers in shops and stuff. There's a
like the concern obviously is that people probably shouldn't be going to YouTube to learn how to tattoo.
Yes.
That's long been the concern that governed our actions. And the thing is, like, there is a ton of that on YouTube.
It's everywhere,
and it's not coming from generally speaking, it's not coming from the best tattooers, right? Yeah. So, I think that there's a shift going on, and I've seen a couple of occasionally I've seen some well-known established reputable brands put some things out, and it's like I think we're all not really sure, if like if it's okay to do that yet, and I think for Tattoo Smart, it's easy for us because we just stick to design-based, content and tools. So we don't have to worry too much about,
it's all design.
If we're putting too much out there for the public, because I don't think there's anything wrong with anybody watching this content and getting something out of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Here's a question. If a subject matter for a tattoo is not exactly in your wheelhouse, how do you decide if you want to try to do it? What do you think, Mike?
If it excites me, it's just a feeling, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. But if it's like something like that can be botched and fucked up, then you might want to make sure to let your client know that. I guess.
Yeah. I tend to go for it, man. I've always been, one to want to do a tattoo that I've never done before and possibly that no one else has ever done before. I like the challenge. Yeah. I think that, I can draw on a lot of experience from, all of the work that I've done and seen and come up with a solution. Personally for me, that's kind of been the way. Here's another one. What paints did you guys use for reference when making the watercolor set? So the paints that we used were a brand that Dora turned me on to. I think it's pronounced Sennelier. It's like Sennelier or something like that. Those are some really great like liquid acrylic style paints. They seem to be light fast. They haven't been fading in the paintings that we've done with them. But yeah, Sennelier were the paints that we used when we made the color swatches. We didn't put the name in there because we didn't want to trigger any kind of like copyright issue. Oh yeah, someone mentioned Dave Tevenall. When Dave Tevenall does videos, they're great. He mainly does Twitch now. Yeah, Dave's been putting up a ton of great I think almost weekly, live painting and live digital designing on Twitch.
I love
Definitely
Dave.
check that out.
He's such a good dude. He's such a character, man. Like if you want a good time, hang out with Dave. He's so fucking funny.
Here's one. Sober Joe Collective is a great channel for flash painting. Have you seen that one?
No.
I'm not familiar with that one, Mike. Thanks for sharing that one with us, Simon.
I'll check that
Simon.
out. Sober Joe Collective.
You're welcome, Small Ink 89. I'm glad it was helpful. Do you like the Procreate watercolor as much as you do tabletop?
So that would be normal watercolor?
I guess he means like actual paint.
Yeah. Honestly, I might like it better, but I mean, I love watercolor. I love painting. I don't stop. I've been working on this thing lately. I've got a really awesome frame for it, but
Wayne Fredrickson is good. That's a channel I've seen a couple of times. Thanks for reminding me of that one. Let's see the painting.
Oh.
Sorry, I was just filling that space while you grabbed your painting. Hold it up to the. Look at that.
I've got a frame
Pharaoh's
for it.
horses. If you guys didn't know, that's called the Pharaoh's horses.
The old Pharaoh's horses.
Oh, that's going to be the perfect frame for that. Right. You know where to send that when you're done with it, buddy. I do have something for you here. I'll send you a picture of it later. Are there plans to? Thank you. Are there plans to offer swatches for more ink manufacturers? We have not done the best job of keeping up with the digital swatches on Tattoo Smart. It's quite a bit of. Frankly, it's a really intense process to get those accurate color swatches. So I don't think that we're going to, continue to update those anymore. I think at some point they'll probably just end up coming down off the site because it's become several years since we were able to put the newest colors in. And yeah, I think that's probably going to be the case.
Just take them off.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's an idea that I think was exciting at the beginning of Tattoo Smart, but it hasn't really proven to be very popular.
Right.
It hasn't been something that a lot of people were interested in. And then the funny thing is that for all of the companies that we did those for, a lot of them ended up taking what we did and putting it up on their websites. And then people are always kind of jumping on the forums and Facebook and everything and being like, why would you pay Tattoo Smart for that thing? You can just go get it from this website for free.
Yeah, that's
it's
shitty.
just okay, well,
what about these
kind of steals my thunder a little bit,
What about
it is a lot of work.
What about these cool watercolor swatches that you have in your set? If you go to my iPad real quick, you can see them.
Oh, let me go to your iPad. All right, okay, so this was actually just a scan of some draw outs that Dor made for me using that Cineleer. So do you know how to? You can just show them how to color drop from it.
So you can just come right here with your finger and pick wherever you want it, and boom, there it is.
Yeah. So that just shows you what each of those colors does when you draw it out with water. And we made a couple of Procreate swatch sets out of that too, that come with the spit shade set, a little bonus extra thing.
I really like this one. This is super cool.
Have you used it?
A little bit.
Did you install the swatches from the set or no? Or do you have your set?
Yes. No, I installed the swatches. I have the
you have them right
there. A and B. And then I have my set. I actually use my set a lot. Just because I know, whenever I'm going to do a tattoo, I typically use them.
Yeah. So. Well, people always ask why we don't come out with the eternal Procreate swatch set in this way. The problem is like the color names don't come through in these swatches, and Eternal has like 270, 280 colors or something like that. So you basically would just be working with random colors. You wouldn't know what tattoo inks relate to them.
Right.
So that's why we did it a different way with the image. Called it the swatch map, and you can still get that on Tattoo Smart. I haven't taken it down now, but just know that it's not updated with the things that were released in like the last 2 years or so.
Right.
Yeah, there is a new update. The new Procreate lets you put a picture as a reference and color pick directly from it, so you can kind of have your reference image up while you're painting. I'm not sure if Myke knows how to demo that yet, but that's a cool feature.
How do you do it?
I would be afraid to try to show you because I haven't actually done it myself, but I've seen it on some of the just, if anyone wants to know what's the latest in Procreate, we haven't done a video yet. So in the meantime, there's some great content out there. Just go into YouTube and search for like, what's the Procreate. I guess it's I don't know the number of the update. It's Procreate 5 point something. But there's like 20 new features, I think, in the newest Procreate that are.
I found it. I figured it out.
You got it? Okay. Let me clear this out. So how did you do it?
So I'll close it real quick. So what I did was just open the little wrench set and go here where it says reference. Click it. Boom. Yeah. There. And so that's just that's the canvas reference.
That's the canvas, but you can choose an image also.
So yeah,
if you just click on image.
Click an image or a face or whatever.
Well, the face one, it lets you put art onto your own face. What? That's going to be weird as hell. You can try it. It's using your camera on your iPad. Now it's putting the swatches on your face. Yes. So that's fucking weird. Yeah, let's
All right.
Well, all right. Well, that's enough of that. We should do a better video of what's new in Procreate.
I don't know. I think this is fun. But yeah, you probably should go do a legit video. That's what's cool about this is it's organic and it's like whatever is happening. It's happening. It's like everyone's just hanging out with us right now, Russ.
Yeah.
We're just fucking off and everyone's hanging out.
That's the nice thing about the live stream format. If there's activity in the chat room that can kind of keep it going, then we'll stay longer. If the chat room is dead now, then I think, we should probably think about ending this. But I'll hang out longer if anybody wants to.
We have more people watching now. Is there anything that we could show them? What do you got going on? Anything?
Shit, man. Like my life is not really geared around making art right now. Like so much of what I do is on the Tattoo Smart side and on like the Ink and Dagger, my tattoo studios like management side. I'm tattooing like one maybe 2 days a week these days, and I'm working on large scale projects. So, I don't actually use Procreate, to make my tattoo drawings either. So if you look at my Procreate screen, like the artwork that I have in here is a lot of it's not even work that I did. Like this is a piece that Holly Ellis made that she made using the spit shade set that we're using to kind of show off what can be done with it. Beautiful piece. Not my work, but yeah, she's an awesome tattooer out of San Francisco. And then I have a piece that Wes Holland made using the spit shade set.
Nice.
We have an awesome Peony set from Wes. And Holly did the girl head set.
Yeah.
This is like the last piece of art. I made this using when we had the Japanese challenge where we gave away a few of the Japanese stamps, and we asked people to compose a tattoo using them. This is like the artwork that I made during that period. So, and you know, it's kind of interesting because it's got one of those protoplast models but I actually colored it in, so you can see like all these layers that were used to add color.
Wait, so you colored the body in?
Yeah, so this is like the way that the stamp comes out. If you just select black as your color and you stamp it out, you get that. And then my next layer was a let me unlock it. My next layer was just like a brown color. I just filled the whole layer with brown, but I set it to color mode color. So if it was a normal, you know, it would look like that on normal mode. But when you tap this this little icon, it's currently most of the time it'll be an N for normal. But if you tap that, you know, I just filled the whole layer. But then you can mess around with these other color modes, and I just found that, you know, color was the one that worked the best.
Wow.
And then I just went in and kind of made some adjustments, like added some other colors, kind of splashing around on it, and until I had this. And this final layer is actually set to add, and the opacity is way down, but add is like going to add glow. So I grabbed some kind of yellow color, like that, and we'll use the magic spit shader. See if that does anything. Cancel. You got to be on the right layer. Okay. So this is the add color mode. It's like the neon mode. So when I wanted to make the appearance of like light hitting the flesh, I can kind of paint the light in.
Right.
And then I just adjust the opacity until it, you know, looks natural. So that's the method that was used to colorize that. So I mean I guess I do make stuff occasionally, but this one was like 2 months ago. So I do feel like really out of practice and kind of like separated from the reality of, you know, tattooing.
That's
crazy.
That's dude, you impress me all the time. Like it's crazy. You gotta keep creating, Russ. You can't stop doing. I mean, you're creating other things, right?
Yeah, that's true. You know, it's just a different mode. You know, when you get into different modes of thinking in life. You know, like I'm, you know, over 20 years into tattooing, and I've found, you know, with the work that I do with Tattoo Smart, you know, keeping us so busy, it's just kind of nice, especially during, you know, the times of COVID, you know, to not feel like I have to tattoo, you know, to make a living. You know, I've just got other things that I can do. I see we've got some more comments going here. Let's see what we've got.
Keith down here asked on any
this one?
advice. Yeah.
Any advice on planning a flash sheet on Procreate to be printed, and if there are any tips to have that process go smoothly without distorting images or quality? What do you think about that, Myke?
Well, you first have to start off with doing your design at the size that you want to have it. So like in your set, you have 11 by 14 pages that are already 300 DPI. So the DPI should be good. But what you would have to do is you would have to turn off the texture layers.
Yeah, because if you're going to print on a textured paper, then you don't want to also print digital texture. Yeah.
Right. Don't print the digital texture or else it'll look weird. But if you if you turn that off, then the printing actually will come out. And if it's good printing, it'll look like it was a painting. It's just a print.
Right. Like, so the important things are make sure that your file is at least 300 DPI at the size you're going to print it. Don't, you know, try to take a 300 DPI 11 by 14 and blow it up bigger than that, because you're gonna have a resolution issue. It's not going to look as good. And take away the textures. If you're using the spit shade set, take away the textures before you print. And also, you know, the colors on your iPad screen could be a little bit brighter. You could think that they're a little bit brighter than they are, depending on how bright you have your screen set to. I think that's one thing to watch out for. You know, if you're before you go and spend a lot of money to have like 50 or 100 prints made, you know, have a test print made just to make sure that you don't want to do some adjustments to your colors. And I think a quality printer can kind of help you work that out too, especially someone that works with tattooers a lot. Do you have any printers that you want to mention, Mike?
Two Crows.
Okay.
Two Crows does really nice high quality prints. Also Mind's Eye, but I feel like Mind's Eye might have changed their name recently.
I didn't hear that.
I do use Mind's Eye Mind's Eye a lot for like, you know, high quality prints, but I also get like a more of a bargain type print, which it's a really good quality print, but you're gonna put it in a frame. So it's like a lot of people, you can get them printed cheaper and sell them for cheaper. So, but if you get like a really high G clay print, you're gonna have to sell it for like 60 to 80 to $100 because it's already costing you like $20 to $30 to print per print. So to make it even worth your while, you have to sell it for a lot more.
Sure.
But which is good. It's good. They're nice, but then I end up giving them away, and like, just whatever. Is what it is.
Yeah. Let's see here. Another question. I've always struggled with technology, but Tattoo Smart has gotten me started. Did you guys start on Procreate, or did you have previous experience in Photoshop? I started with Photoshop in probably 1997. I didn't draw in Photoshop. I never really did that until much later. But I did use Photoshop to lay things out, you know, so I would grab references and kind of compose designs with them. And I got a lot of experience just doing general graphic design. Eventually, I ended up deciding to get into digital for tattoo design, and I got a giant Wacom Cintiq. The first one I got was the 24-inch model, and I can't hold my hands wide enough for you to see how big it is currently on the screen, but it's a giant screen, and you have to, you know, plug a computer into it. Of course, Procreate doesn't work with that on a computer. I used a program called Clip Studio, which I still love. I still do most of my tattoo design work using Clip Studio on a computer in a Wacom Cintiq. So, you know, Procreate is not my go-to choice because I like that bigger screen, and I'm just really comfortable in the Clip Studio interface. I think Mike might be the same way.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neither one of us actually really use Procreate all that much. I've been using it a lot lately just because I've been using Russ's brush set, the watercolor set, a lot lately. So I've been using it and I really like it. But when it comes to really drawing my designs, I'm going to use Clip Studio. I could go on about how awesome Clip Studio is, but it's like
one of the main reasons is that we're just so used to it. You know, we spent so much time working in it that it's just the comfort zone thing, you know. But Procreate is definitely our top choice for, you know, someone who's got an iPad and is, you know, looking to get into digital design, right? You know, and they've added so many of the features that we used to wish they had. You know, like I used to be able to make a strong case for why tattooers should use Clip Studio and go that route, but you know, I just can't make that same case anymore. Procreate has, you know, with all of the transform features that they added, warp, you know, reference layers, everything. It's that, you know, that I love so much about Clip Studio is pretty much there in some form or another.
I'm starting to learn that. Like they really added a lot of stuff. So, and there's a lot of hidden things in there that you got to find. So that question, I started using Photoshop and self-taught myself Photoshop, and then I just use Photoshop for, you know, my tattoo photos, and then Russ got me on the digital stuff like kind of late, and then I just like dove in head first. And
Well, Mike,
all right,
Thank you so much for sitting through all this with me and
Yeah,
us.
for sure.
And I think that our first live stream went pretty well.
Yeah.
It could have been much more of a disaster. So a disaster averted. And I really appreciate those of you who showed up today and spent some time with us in the chat room. And to those of you who are watching this later, please remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go check out Mike's Instagram at Myke Chambers. Check out his Facebook and his YouTube channel. And yeah, like let's show some support for all of these, good content creators that are from the tattoo world on YouTube, like Myke and the others that we mentioned earlier. And really appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you in the next video. I'm going to end it now.
Thanks, guys.